Hello from me, Lazarus. Welcome to the next lesson of the course on Create a Website from Scratch. We are currently working on my book, eponymous, Creating a Website from Scratch. Here are the free chapters of it, which are colored blue. There is a connection to them. And those who are on the paid side part, are colored gray. We are at the moment on the 10th chapter. New properties and functionalities in CSS3. I'm here on purpose, wrote it with a space. Basically yes, it says fused, but here I have done it for more clearly. Let's open the PDF file. We have now come to one lot interesting box sizing property. Very important to understand from those who are currently studying. It provides a long-desired opportunity for developers to be able to properly and easy to determine dimensions of the elements. I have already covered it in chapter 25.4 and there. I started by asking the following question: in your opinion, how is it most logical to calculate the dimensions of the width and height of the blocks? Again, for clarity, I apply the scheme of the boxing model. This is the content on the blocks, or boxes in English. This is the indent. This is the framework and this is the outer retreat. So it's me. I present it like this. This is, say, a box, in which there is some gift. That's the gift, the content. This is the distance to the box. This is the frame of the box itself. And this is the distance to the neighbor's boxes, right? Here we assume that it doesn't matter, we have a row of boxes stacked side by side and as in a warehouse. And how it should be calculated: the box, of course, as far as hers frame, right, there is none here at all thinking otherwise. But when I got introduced to CSS3, the reality turned out to be completely different. There was such a calculation, but it was to Internet developers only, Explorer 4 and 5. They had reasoned like me. And the W3C consortium had accepted some such decision that only content should be considered to be leading for the width of the block, and the rest must be added: indent, border. Now, that when we're working in pixels, yes, we say it's not that scary, but the problem comes when, for example, we have percentages for part of the dimensions, for other pixels, and we have to mix them. And then there was none. The calc function, there was none. Flexbox and everything was done by hand. All the calculations had to developers to calculate them themselves. Let me show you what represents this, what a difference it made, for example, when considered by the W3C model and by model of Internet Explorer. And then this width. Internet Explorer was causing a problem, because it was the most used browser and it couldn't be done quality site regardless of how the site will be seen in. Internet Explorer. That is, the developers had to do extra hacks because of this divergence so that the sites can they see well this way to method of calculation. Over the years, however, the W3C finally realized that the developers of Internet Explorer 4 and 5 were right, and this is the much better way and the correct one to calculate. So, and that's why I included the box sizing property in the CSS specification. So, the most important properties that can to accept this property are: content box, it is the default. The dimensions are calculated in the old way, by the contents of the block. Border box, the most important property. Number 1. I don't know why it's included as second and it's not made to be default. After is the meaning of box sizing is the border box property. This is the value you measure yourself by. Calculate is by the method of developer of Internet Explorer 4 and 5, as the sum of the contents of the block plus the indent plus the frame. That is, we can say that it already applies for both width and height. And I say once again, it's personal for me very strange that this is not posted as the default property. And when using on old browsers used prefixes. That's how it's put. WebKit, that's it. Browsers to say are currently as Google Chrome. These are for Mozilla Firefox, and there are and for Opera, O prefix. That's all for this tutorial. Best regards.